is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome to the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We got 9 games on Thursday. James, usually Thursday is like a 3-4 game slate max. We got 9 games here this week.
Yeah, definitely an interesting 9-game slate. Couple teams on a back-to-back. We unfortunately have to deal with the Pistons again. The Lakers are on the second leg of a back-to-back. Utah on a back-to-back. The Clippers on a back-to-back. So 4 teams on back-to-backs. Big Thursday slate spanning from 7 late game.
Yeah.
It's 8 games from 7 to 8, and then 2 hours. Yeah, so cool. So should be an interesting slate. Giannis, Halliburton, SGA, AD, your top dogs on this slate. So should be a fun one.
Yep, agreed. Let's just jump into it here because we do have the 9 games to talk about. As you mentioned, starting off at the point guard position, Halliburton, SGA, your top 2 price guys. Steph Curry's at 98, Trae Young at 97 for the top 5 here. Halliburton get Miami, SGA at home against the Lakers, Curry at home against the Clippers here, Trae Young on the road against the Spurs. How are we going about these guys here? What's your favorite matchup target?
I mean, Halliburton we know has a ceiling. I know this hasn't been like the best spot, but we did just see Lillard go for 32 actual and 52 fantasy points against them in a game that had like 260 points total. So, you know, if there is no Jimmy Butler, that's less defense on the floor for Miami. So maybe we can get to Halliburton. I know typically we wouldn't. I think SGA probably is a very popular if people go to the spend up point guard realm, because no matter what happens, he just seems to get 50 fantasy points as a baseline. And then depending on like the peripherals, it's like 60, 70. And he catches the Lakers on the back-to-back here. Curry coming off the ceiling Curry game because, of course, we Draymond in, Paul out, and we get 10 rebounds, 6 assists from Steph Curry. Right. So, like, you know, the Clippers are another team on a back-to-back in this spot, so maybe we could take advantage of that. Trae Young is interesting coming off his dreadful performance. Spurs have lost a bunch of games in a row, I think 12 in a row or something along those lines. They're a terrible defensive team. This game has a 246 total. So very intrigued by everything that has to do with this game because, you know, we've only seen this total like 3 times this year. One of them had 309 points scored, and Atlanta was included in that game. So
yes, they were.
This is including the 3rd and 4th paced teams in the league, and San Antonio's 27th in defense, Atlanta 25th. So I'm definitely buying the Trae Young Kool-Aid.
Wemby is questionable for this game, so that's something.
Wemby is questionable. Interesting. Yep. I mean, that would obviously be really bad for them because not that he had a really good game in a scenario where
this would be a spot where you would think maybe a ceiling game for Wemby though. So
yeah. I mean,
definitely like to see him out there. If he's not though, then you look at Vassell and Keldon as well, and we'll touch upon those obviously as we go across positions here. Mid-tier guards, we have Lillard, Cade, Jalen Brunson with a disappointing performance last time. A good chance to bounce back for him here. Malcolm Brogdon continues to be just an absolute baller. He's $8,100 here. Comes back from the injury, doesn't miss a beat. Harden's at $8K. Dinwiddie has been unbelievable of late as well, $7,800. Rozier's coming off of a tough game against the Knicks, but no LaMelo Ball still at $7,700. Garland's still way too cheap at $75. D'Angelo Russell off a ceiling game, 35 actual against Detroit here tonight. So the mid tier is pretty strong.
What's with this? Like every Laker back-to-back just ends in the front leg is just a blowout. So then it's like, well, LeBron once again only played 29 minutes and Anthony Davis only played 29 minutes. Like they're just going to play back-to-backs again. D'Lo ceiling, like it's just
Yeah.
It's just crazy how that keeps happening. I'm not chasing the deal game. 6,900 for the third option on a nightly basis is not like great, especially when the third it's like a distant third option, right?
Yeah.
It's not close. Dinwiddie is definitely going to take a step back with Cam Thomas returning. He is probable.
Yeah.
That hurts him. Brogdon, I definitely think is in play. 8,100s, whatever. I think the most important thing was the 36 minutes on the second leg of a back-to-back for
Yeah.
Brogdon. Like that's elite. So I could definitely see myself getting into some Brogdon. Brunson's fine. Murray. Ooh, Murray revenge narrative there against the Spurs and a 246 total. I know he's been kind of bad. Price coming back down though.
Yep.
4 games of 83 or more. So maybe something.
Imagine, I mean, at Boston, at Cleveland, at Washington, supposed to be their 4th straight road game, which is kind of iffy, but some time off in between there. Under 6K range here, low 6K range here. Conley's at 64 now. Counted George 63. Jaden Ivey after fouling out in 16 minutes, I think it was, or 18 minutes here on the Wednesday at 62. Giddy down to 61, so a little bit of a cheaper price tag for him there. But then Lowry up to 56. If there's no Butler again, he's coming off of a ceiling game.
Yeah, it's Lowry for me of anyone in that tier, especially considering
the matchup.
The matchup. I mean, Indiana's, we talk about it all the time. They're number 1 in pace, and they're 28th in defense. So Miami's going to be incredibly popular again if there's no Butler. Bam is on the injury report, and we have seen Bam go from probable to out this year too. So that's something to definitely consider. I think the Heat are the most unstable injury report posters there are. Like, dude, it's just like, it doesn't matter if you're not on the report, if you're probable, if you're questionable, like you have a chance to sit. So we do have to watch that. I think Lowry's in a really good spot. Probably still have some interest, a little like mild interest if Butler plays, just because the game environment does you could see a scenario where Kyle Lowry comes in. He's done it twice now, right? Where he's made a bunch of shots and has had a ceiling. So I think it'd be an okay spot. Same thing. You could probably say the same, literally word for word, what I just said about Josh Richardson too, because Butler starts. I assume Richardson slides back to the bench, but he was fantastic the last game.
Yeah,
been fantastic for 5 straight games, really, 4 straight games, really. 24 plus fantasy points in 4 straight. I know the price is getting up there, but all the Heat are in play. Obviously, if we want to play him, we'd like to see Jimmy out.
The Knicks are 15-point favorites against.
Yeah.
I don't know if that does anything for quickly here. Doesn't seem to get like a ton of extended run blowouts. Like only 23 minutes in this blowout win.
Yeah.
26 here. So, I don't know if quickly is the answer, but somebody on the Knicks is going to be playing a lot of minutes in blowout run here, it seems like.
I mean, quickly, like you said, he in a 26. I mean, I know that was like the in-season tournament and they needed to win by X amount of points and whatnot, but he's just like kind of been firmly in the rotation. So I'm definitely down to just get to quickly anyways, given the spot. Yeah, well, like, I mean, we both rostered Anthony Davis on Tuesday. Yeah. So like we saw what can happen. You just talked about like D'Lo in X amount of minutes having a ceiling game. Like, Detroit's just a mess, and Monty Williams is out here after the game saying this team doesn't. What was the phrasing? They don't compete when there's adversity or something. Like,
not great.
20 games in, and that's what your coach is saying. Like, yeesh. So yeah, I would get to quickly in kind of any setting here.
Right. Any guys here under 5K?
I do like the minutes for Nembhard the last couple games, 20 and 22. That's after returning from a little injury. They're starting to go to him a little bit more. They're playing him late in that Portland game alongside Halliburton. So maybe some consideration. I would. Who on the Bulls is point guard eligible? Because I don't know if you saw their injury report.
Yeah, no Levine, no DeRozan, right?
They're both listed questionable, and Caruso is listed questionable. Levine left that last game, and I believe DeRozan did as well. I think they
Von
both.
Carter revenge.
Javon Carter revenge, yeah.
He's still in
I
the
mean,
Bucks uni on his photos.
he is still in the Bucks uni. I mean, look, there's 3 different DeRozan, Levine, Caruso. I know Caruso didn't start despite being active last game, but if those 3 guys are out, I'm probably not getting to Kobe White 66. Like you can miss me with that number, but
I don't know. He might take 20 shots.
He might, but how long is he going to be out there for? 3 quarters? Is he getting 20 shots?
If they don't have any bodies, does he even sit?
Yeah, because I think they have enough depth at guard. Io, Carter, they have Dalen Terry, last year's first round pick. So like they have I'd assume they would have enough bodies that if this game gets at hand, Donovan's just like, all right.
Okay.
I will not get to 6,600 Kobe White.
No.
Almost in any capacity, truthfully, even if they're out.
Okay. He's a guy that I might. If they're out, I might get to that because Milwaukee's been so bad defensively against guard play that even if he plays 3 quarters, he could take 20 shots in 3 quarters.
It's not a bad point
because he's gonna just shoot threes. He's just gonna chuck 3-pointers out there.
In theory, he probably chucks a lot.
I don't know what I'll have to pull the core IQ up, but I'm curious what his usage is with those 2 guys on the floor here this season, just to quickly take a gander. Let's see if we have no DeRozan, no Levine. I don't even imagine how much minutes this would even be, but let's see. This year, no DeRozan, no Levine. It's a 54-minute sample. He's got 29-minute sample. His 33.4% usage rate, 1.1 fantasy points per minute for him there.
It's pretty good.
So pretty good. Let's see if anybody else kind of kicks. Not really. I mean, you mentioned Terry. It's an 18-minute sample. He's got 24% usage rate. AO 22%, but he's the only one. Him and Drummond in 18 minutes has a 1.9 fantasy point per minute, but
that's
just Drummond in a nutshell there for you. So, all right, let's move on over to shooting guard here. Again, we mentioned these top guys here. I laid off them so you could play them. Donovan Mitchell went for 69 against Atlanta in that game at low rostership. Nobody played him. 40, 11, 5. I don't know if you run that one back against Portland. He did go for 50 against Portland there back on the 15th. So he does have some track record of success. Anthony Edwards may not play in this game. He is doubtful to suit up for that one. So now you take a look at what that rotation could be without Edwards. NEW has not been that impressive when given the opportunity. He's going to get a bigger opportunity if Anthony Edwards is out of the lineup. Maybe that's one of the reasons why people are looking at Mike Conley. But we also saw not NEW, but Troy Brown was out there playing a lot of minutes when he was out, and Troy Brown had himself a pretty good game. Now, we've been down that well before, but if Troy Brown is starting for Anthony Edwards, I think you probably give him a little bit of a look-see there at 42.
Yeah, I definitely think Troy Brown would be the preferred option of the 2 guys. There is the Shake Milton thing that you're looking at. I don't think Shake would get. I don't think he would get a fair shake, but I will lean Troy Brown for sure. I mean, look, Donovan Mitchell is hashtag really good at basketball. If you want to play Donovan Mitchell, I don't think anybody would blame you going up against one of the worst teams in basketball. I will say, and I mentioned it in that Indiana game when it was like a 12.5 point spread or whatever, and Portland won outright. Portland has been better defensively, I think, than people may realize. I mean, they're 15th in the league in defense, so they're also playing extremely slow. So we got to take that into consideration. It's a pace-up spot for Portland. So if you want to get to Mitchell, it's fine. Probably, I don't love this. I mean, George, second leg of a back-to-back, it's
fine. I'm not really in on that either. Let's see. Some guys we've discussed. I mean, Cam Thomas, 71. Would you go back to the well with him? I mean, we know it's Charlotte here. I mean, he could, if he's full go, we know what he can be.
Yeah, I think the update on the minutes will be my determining factor. If there's no cap, then I'm in. If there's a cap, I'm out. Okay. Not at 71. That's
dropped 45, and not the first time he's able to do that one. So And Charlotte is so bad.
They are bad.
So bad. Reeves, if someone sits, I don't think anybody sits in the Lakers going up against the Thunder, like you mentioned. Blood game, so they got some rest here. The Thunder's a pretty good squad there.
That price is kind of crazy, no? 6,900 for Austin Reeves.
I mean, he's been good-ish, so it's kind of on the way up. Didn't work out for them against Philly, but they got blown out. It didn't really work out for anybody. Strus, not a great shooting game the other night, 4 of 11, 3 of 7, but 7 assists. It's good to see. Blocks and steals, fine. Still gave you 35 fantasy points. So kind of had like a floor shooting game and still came through if you want to run that out. I know you and I kind of go back and forth on the pricing on Strus at $6,600, but he kind of safe. Kind of continues to be a safe floor play. Vassell against Atlanta, I'm sure you and I are both interested in here. And then Clay. I mean, Clay's been good.
Did you see Clay on the final play bars that Curry took that wild three, just literally jumping up and down on the wing, just nobody near him.
I saw Draymond pass the ball to the stands and
yeah, he did do that too. Super sad to see the Clay wide open three, not because old Clay gets that ball. Please give us Devin Vassell in the starting lineup and stop trolling us, and instead talking to your fans about not booing an opposing player who spends their money on how they want to boost somebody, they can boost somebody. So how about you just start doing stupid shit and start your best players and stop telling your fans to boo other players because they're allowed to do that. So that's my rant. But if Devin Vassell is starting, I'm perfectly fine getting there.
Got 31 minutes out of Duncan Robinson. Came back, played all the minutes we needed to.
Yeah, he's priced out for me. It's like I feel similarly to Strus as I do about Duncan Robinson. I think it's
Buddy Hield fall in that same range for you then too.
Yeah, I'm out. They didn't close Buddy Hield last game either. If he's gonna get pulled off the floor, no thanks.
Okay. What about Bogdan here?
This is interesting because despite coming off the bench, 32, 31 minutes in the 2 games without Jalen Johnson, or Jalen Johnson got
1.5 games. Yeah.
No, he got hurt in the Washington game.
Okay.
He got hurt. Kuzma. It was a Kuzma foul.
Sure.
So in the 2 games since Jalen Johnson's been out, he's gonna take a ton of shots when he's out on the floor. So if that's gonna continue, I have no issues getting to him in kind of a ceiling environment for everybody involved.
Agreed. We're working our way down. Chris Middleton played 23 minutes in that game, hit all of his shots again. I gotta think there'll be a quick ramp up here, but competition wise, it could be a quick blowout too.
Yeah, dude, they're so good. I just want to put that out there. That is going to be an unfair team. I shouldn't say going to be an unfair team. That's just an unfair team. When Chris Middleton's full strength, forget it.
Agreed. Moving our way down, what's other value shooting guards are you looking at here?
Most of them I feel like existed at the point guard position. Caleb Martin's been disappointing, and now he's getting a price increase. I don't think I'd go there. Isaiah Joe minutes are fine. Troy Brown. We already talked about him. I think it'd just be Troy Brown for me.
Okay.
And then possibly depending on what happens with the Bulls. I know we talked about it, but Dosunmu, Carter, Dalen Terry, they're all shooting guard options.
All right. Let's go on over then to small forward here. LeBron James, $9,900. Jimmy Butler's $83. You got Bridges here. If LBJ is, good to go, I imagine we're good to go here.
Yeah, it's fine. 9,900 is, he had 40 fantasy points in 29 minutes again in a blowout. He's doing this every time there's a blowout. He's having monster games, and then obviously backseat to Davis. But yeah.
Yep, I agree with you. All right. Again, a lot of these guys are questionable or out. If someone's in, I imagine we'll be fine with Butler. Say DeRozan and Levine play. I mean, would you give them looks here against Milwaukee? They're so bad.
Yeah, right? They're horrible. Levine probably for me of the two, but I don't know. I don't have much confidence in anyone wearing a Bulls jersey right now.
Sure. Keldon's at 7K. I'm sure we like that play.
Yep.
With or without Wemby. Without Wemby, it's probably even better.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, here. I think more guys we've talked about. I mean, RJ Barrett kind of was like good, but not great. Didn't close, missed most of his shots again for the second straight game here. Got you 25 fantasy points. He's 6K. It is Detroit. Any interest on Barrett? There's a lot of rostership on Barrett on that slate.
There was a lot of rostership on Barrett. It's fine. I think him and Wiggins look really similar. There's rumors that Wiggins came into the season not in shape. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, I did. I've seen the reports. Yeah,
people in Golden State are complaining about him not being in shape, which is weird. But I feel like him and RJ are pretty similar plays. If they make shots, they have a ceiling, and if not, they play 28 minutes and don't close games or don't check back in the fourth quarter. They look awfully similar, and not just because they're both small forward, power forward, and 6K. They're just really scoring dependent right now.
Right. Brandon Miller played 36 minutes because they just play all these guys all these minutes.
Do they play him all the minutes?
He was pretty solid. DeAndre Hunter, 26 minutes in that game, 18 points for him, 26 and a half fantasy points. Fell a little short, but again, that was a blowout game. Only got the 26 and had some 4 fouls. Plus, matchup-wise against Cleveland wasn't really great for him. Maybe a better spot against San Antonio. Jaquez didn't start, but still played 33 minutes. So
yep.
Gotta love that for him there. If Butler comes back, who gets impacted? Is that a Jaquez? Is that Richardson? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's probably, everybody involved, but definitely probably both. And Highsmith too could come back. Sure. Highsmith's been in their rotation. So I think Jaquez has played his way into the rotation, but we'll see. 30 minutes is hard to expect if everyone's healthy.
Sure. Anybody else down here for you?
Under Jaquez, do we trust the Royce O'Neal? He did it again, back-to-back ceiling games. Probably not, especially with Cam Thomas back and Nick Claxton back, so you probably can't go there.
Yeah. They still started Christie. They didn't start Reddish in this game.
Started Christie. I think too low of a floor for me for $4,800. I would think if I was playing someone in that range, probably Pat Will.
Okay. Caleb Martin, no.
No, not at his price. Not at his price increase for me.
Pat Will, even if everybody's in, or
no, if everyone's out. Yeah. We had the Josh Hart question, I think, in Discord or in live stream. Of course, he closed over Barrett in that game.
Hit all of his shots, yeah.
Hit all of his shots. We know the random Josh Hart games are alive and well. Kyle Anderson just not going to play more than 23 minutes, I guess.
Do you think he plays more than 23 minutes, though, if there's no Edwards?
Who knows, dude? I would have thought that already, right? I would have thought that previously. But...
And just another wing player that's taken out of the rotation, so.
Yeah, I guess. In theory, he should.
I know Troy Brown got those minutes for Edwards when he was out, but I don't know.
I know it could be a different thing from in-game adjustment to starting. Right. So yeah, I'd be okay with it.
My boy Georges.
Yeah, he's gonna keep playing.
Played actually fewer minutes than he's played, but gave you still the same amount of.
Yeah, so. He had a nice little stretch all by himself in that game too. It was
it started 1-5, and then basically didn't miss the rest of the game. So
yeah.
Which was nice, and the 7 rebounds was a pleasant seeing there for a guy that played 19 minutes. I got nothing else though. All right, power forward then. Giannis here, power forward center. Giannis here, 11-2. Randall's 89. Towns with no Anthony Edwards against Utah at $8,800 feels pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited for him to get in foul trouble. So
by who? Who's getting him into foul trouble? John Collins?
You'd be surprised sometimes. We've said that with Jaren Jackson. I will say, kudos to Jaren Jackson. Didn't pick up his first foul until the third quarter of Wednesday's game. That had to be a world record for Jaren Jackson. And he responded with 7 blocks and steals, John, at home, by the way.
Big surprise.
So yeah, Towns is. I feel like they should have bumped it a little higher than they did, given he's like a 10K player. When he had a team to himself, so
And they'd known that he was questionable or doubtful to play in that game ahead of the pricing out. So
yeah,
for Anthony Edwards rather. So definitely still a spot there for Towns. It's a great
sure.
spot. And then we'll see what Wemby, right? Questionable to play here with hit tightness. If he's in, I mean, he just gave you almost 16, 25 minutes. So 10 blocks plus steals. And he had 9 blocks plus steals, a week earlier. So very much not out of the range of outcomes for this guy because he is ridiculous. So had that game been any closer, he would have gone for probably 70.
Yep.
And now we got a matchup against Atlanta. So, it could feasibly start lineups with Towns Wemby here on this slate, honestly.
Yep.
And kind of go from there. If we are looking in the mid-tier range of power forward, who's popping off for you? Do you chase the Mobley production?
I mean, he has a ceiling.
I expect him to be like this most nights.
I know.
If like he was more of a focal point of their team, it feels like.
Yeah, the rebounds have been really nice. And the blocks, obviously, 7 blocks for a guy that is expected to compete for Defensive Player of the Year awards. So you could say the same thing about the other side of this game, Grant. Like, you could chase either of those guys and it'd be fine. I think both guys make sense given their upsides. Miles Bridges, rather, is a power forward only. Big step back with no LaMelo, and I don't know if that's going to continue, but
yeah, it could have just been the game. Tough game.
Could have been the game. Yeah, could have been the game. Could go back.
Doesn't get much easier against Brooklyn though. So
doesn't get much easier. Cam J. I wish the minutes were more secure on Cam Johnson, but he continues to be a really good fantasy point per minute producer. 33 fantasy points in 27 minutes the last time out. 1 rebound shy of a double-double. So I wouldn't hate getting to him. You mentioned Hunter. You mentioned Jaquez.
Bobby Porter's revenge.
Bobby Porter's revenge.
He went for 39 in 25 minutes against them earlier this season.
Yeah, so. He does not like Chicago. Yeah, it's fine. Sadiq, another. I know you're a big.
I play Sadiq all the time. Yeah. So
Sadiq is firmly in play. I mean, this game is just so appealing, right? So
yeah. If Love starts again, go back to Love here.
Yeah, if Love starts again, the minutes were kind of surprising, right? The 26.
I mean, yeah, I love to see the 26. I didn't love to see the 2 for 11. Everything else is good though.
Yeah, I think very positive that he went 2 for 11 and still played 26 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt he starts if like Jimmy and Highsmith are active, but I guess we'll see.
Sure. Then of course any of the indie guys, if it's Toppin or if it's Neesmith, right? We'll probably have some interest. Jalen Smith out for let's say a week.
Yeah, he's out. Yep.
So I don't know what that does for like the 15 minutes he plays, who those go to, but
Isaiah Jackson.
Think so.
But Isaiah Jackson is questionable, so
as I was saying, I don't know who gets those minutes.
Maybe they go small like top end center.
Yeah.
Or...
again, I still think Niang is in play. I mentioned that one
earlier. Oscar Tshiebwe has been recalled from the G League.
Okay.
So
nobody we have to worry about. Does Walker get it? Walker got recalled from the G League too. He was their first round pick.
Maybe that would be cool. I would like that. Dries Walker is good at basketball.
Yeah,
that would be cool. That's like a speculative play. If we found out that like if Carlisle released that information pregame, like hey, this is going to be my backup center, then I would consider it for sure.
Yeah, I think there's some interesting there, recalling him like that. All right, center position we go. We talked about some of these guys. I played Anthony Davis tonight, smashed. He's got to deal with Chet Holmgren here tonight. Good battle between these two guys. Should be fun to watch.
Should be fun to watch for sure. First time in a while we've seen AD over 10K too.
If there's no Butler, I'll go to Bam in this spot against the Pacers. That feels.
He could. He's just a very good player.
He's just a very good player. You and Sean tried to tell me, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, Milwaukee, 27 shots. They're
He's
27.
just different. It's just I feel like he just feels different this year than he has, right? Like it just
I
seems
did
like
not
a
see a
different band.
27 shot ceiling coming, so that's just on me. That's just my bad.
No, I mean I don't. That's not like my bad thing. That's just like we're
That's a
not.
lot of shots.
It is. I mean, Bam, he just is different. Like
Yeah.
he's averaging career high in points this year, and the defense is insane. I don't know if you saw that possession they highlighted. He was guarding Dame on the perimeter, and it was sick. But he's like 7 feet. You can't do that to Dame at 7 feet.
Yeah, exactly. Mid-tier range again. You do have Holmgren here at $7,900. This guy just continues to be unreal.
Yep.
As well, stretches the floor, plays defense. Andy Davis certainly got another tough matchup for him, but he's pretty much passed all the tests so far to this point here. Where else are you going in the mid tier?
I mean, like DeAndre Ayton's been really good. I played him the other day against Indiana. He played 38 minutes on the second leg of a back-to-back. Took 4 free throws again. I think DeAndre Ayton's getting in a pretty good groove here, especially with Malcolm Brogdon. The pick and roll, pick and pop with those two. Just having Brogdon on the floor has clearly made Portland like more competitive across the board. So I like Ayton at 7K. I think that price tag is fine. I mean, if there's no Wemby, Zach Collins is not that he's not interesting already, but if there's no Wemby, Zach Collins is really, really interesting at 6,400. He has had a pretty low floor, but he also has had a 50-point ceiling. So I could see myself getting to some Collins. I know I probably should stay away from Walker Kessler, but he did it again to me tonight. So like, screw it, I'm going back to the well. He again. So they started Yurt 7. They went away from Yurt 7. Yep. He played 15 minutes. Kessler played 28 minutes off the bench.
6 blocks.
9 points, 8 rebounds, 6 blocks. Tonight, a steal, two assists. The minutes were great. I don't dislike 11 shot attempts either. I think, and like I said before the stream on Wednesday, like the minutes always could just continue to tick up, and they have. So,
and this is the trade team, right? Utah traded Gobert to Minnesota. Minnesota flipped back Walker Kessler in that deal. So
actually, I should have probably also mentioned Gobert, $7,400. Had a ceiling game last time out. I mean, there is in a game where Edwards leaves, he has 17 points. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. 10 shots in a game that Edwards leaves. He's only taken 10 shots 4 times this year. So maybe there is slightly more offensive minded Gobert. Is this going back to? No, it's okay. Walker Kessler gets the.
Yeah, he's in Minnesota.
Yeah, he gets to go where it all started and then traded immediately.
Yeah. Put the hat on and got told.
Yeah. Capella 57. If you think he is the guy to play more minutes, if not, you just play Ngannou, who's $5,000.
Mitch Rob played 32 minutes, had 6 points, 6 blocks, 2 steals, 10 rebounds.
Dude, if you like whoever, I feel like he has to be in the top 5 of hardest players to predict in DFS.
Yeah,
has to be.
It's so sad because when he was a rookie or second year or whatever it was, he was awesome.
He was.
And now they just don't even let him try to score. So
no,
it's a big sad. Yeah, Gonku at 5K makes a lot of sense. Agreed. Anything else? Does Drummond get some love? $3,400 now? I don't know.
I mean, he probably does because this game's going to be an insane blow. But even in blow, it's like they don't
play him.
No. They just don't play him. So to walk back my answer, no, there's nothing else.
All right, let's go to the lineup. Where do you want to start?
I mean, I think if we build with Wemby and we could just,
go Towns, Wemby, and go from there.
Yeah, Towns, Wemby go from there, and if there's something, we get Atlanta somewhere, Hunter, Bay, both,
Sure.
all like Bogdan. I mean, two of those three probably make the most sense, right? Two of Bogdan, Bay, and Hunter. I mean, I think Hunter and Bay would. Dude, I've loved what DeAndre Hunter's done lately. I don't know. He's been super good.
I just seen who the cheapest guy was. Hunter's got the small forward, power forward too, which is nice to see. Let's see. Troy Brown's there. Guard play.
56 for a player quickly.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess I wish we knew about Butler. Obviously, it would make things a little bit easier. Let's see. I mean, do you think Mike Conley?
No.
Okay.
I think that's like that's a tough price to get to, 6,400.
Okay.
Right? I mean, you could tell me you think I'm wrong, but 6,400 feels like.
Okay. Let's see. Forward value. What did Isaiah Joe end up doing? 24 minutes. Give Isaiah Joe another look.
He's gonna play mid-20s minutes, right? That's kind of where I feel like that's what he settled into.
Yeah, Jalen Green came back. He still kind of held the same amount of minutes there. We got one. I guess we can do two. We can do Bay there. And then we have 7,300 for a point guard. Russell, Kobe White, who we don't want to do. 7,300 for a guard then. Cam Thomas.
I mean, we can,
Yeah,
scored 36. He scored 36 points in 25 minutes earlier, but coming off an ankle, probably like some type of limitation, but probably not too much. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to go Cam Thomas, it'd be okay.
Does Joe have forward eligibility? He does. All right, so let's do or guard rather. Let's do Joe. Let's go Bay, and now we have 73 for a util. 73 for a util is Keldon. We're good there, right?
Yeah,
works.
Game stack.
I would rather Keldon or Vassell. Keldon starts. So say Keldon or Vassell, but Keldon starting. So
I hope we get Vassell starting. Like I just do not understand that.
All right. So quickly, Brown, Hunter, Wemby, Towns, Joe, Bay, and Keldon Johnson example lineup for everybody. Getting two pieces each in that San Antonio Atlanta big game total game for us here. We got Towns without Towns and Troy Brown Jr. with no Anthony Edwards potentially in this one. This is doubtful. We got quickly potentially going out into blowout. And we got Isaiah Joe coming off the bench as that 6th, 7th man against the Lakers for the Thunder. I'm on your playbook for this Tuesday 9-game main slate, so check that out during the day. Get us in the Discord. Find us over on the Twitter machine as well, and we will catch you guys live back here 5 o'clock Eastern time. See you then.